Okay, this is our interview with the gang from See You Next Tuesday.
This is Drew's second appearance on the show.
It is.
Last time we talked with Chris Fox. This time we got to meet Jimmy Blastbeats.
That's right.
So nice.
Yeah, a lot of work went into this project, and it's a great conversation with a bunch of friends. So take it away. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, really excited about this project.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really impressive. Yeah. So was the inspiration really was Fear Factory remanufactured? We saw that.
I guess like just the idea that a band would do a remix album was brought to you by
Yeah.
Fear Factory's remanufacture, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like we didn't follow the whole thing to the T. But like for example, I did cherry pick ideas from their whole shtick, like the whole renaming the songs was something that they did as well, instead of just having the same song title in parentheses, Child of Night remix.
Right.
We had to have every element of it be its kind of own thing, aka Child of Night edits. We got Child of Night in here with us. I'm really stoked that Jonathan. Can we just applaud Jonathan for being here with us tonight?
Yeah, Stace was asking me before the show. She said, "Were you into that Fear Factory album?" And I said, "I got it for $6 used in 1998. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it. I was just like,
it was
sounds cool to me. I mean, we didn't have the internet back then. I was just
right
buying cheap shit, So,
See, and weirdly enough, I have mostly I know it was from the Mortal Kombat movies and stuff.
Okay.
Like it was big in the video game era, and like for some reason it like Mortal Kombat was a big part of my life,
Yeah.
And Fear Factory. I saw Fear Factory live a handful of times, and it was wonderful.
I remember I saw an interview with Kirk Hammett, and he said he was into Fear Factory, and what was the other one? I was two bands. One of them sucked. It was Pitch Shifter. And I was like, Pitch Shifter, they suck, man. Well, that's terrible.
I don't know.
But I love Fear Factory. That was great.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't like the we didn't follow it to the T or anything, but it definitely gave us some it planted the seed for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised. When I first heard it, I was like, wow, they could have told me this was entirely new music. I would have said, okay.
Yeah.
So,
ours,
what kind of made you go with the title Relapses?
It was kind of I wanted something that was like a reword. I don't know. I spent way too much time thinking about that title.
One word.
I know that you and I tossed back and forth a couple of ideas, and I think that like from one that I had said and one he had said, he kind of morphed it into that, or it somehow segued into that, and that's how we came up with it.
Yeah, ultimately, like I came up with Relapse like just as a singular was one of my first ideas, just because based on like distractions was like my whole path to getting over drinking. So I thought it was kind of poetic, relapses, relapse, I guess at the time.
And that would be a great idea for a label name, wouldn't it?
I know,
Holy
right?
fuck.
Oh man, they probably would have like these like CDs with like this little over the top thingy that made kids in the early 2000s buy everything.
Yeah.
And still in the late 2000s buying everything.
Yep. But yeah, it was one of the at first my wife was like, it's a little too close to home. I was like, all right, well, we'll drop it. And then we kept doing like Reimagine, and I was like, man, that sounds like a fucking Disney cartoon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and we wanted to keep it a singular word. Just because all of our records have one word. I don't know why, but they do, and I didn't feel this was the time to break tradition. But yeah, ultimately it came down to when I was listening to like all the tracks put up next to each other. So I didn't have a title till like it was pretty much like set. Um, and I was like, every single track is so individual, and like they all bring something different to the table.
Yeah, they really do.
And
Yeah.
that's why, like, right at the end, I was like, it's going to be relapses. Like every one is telling this different story. Like somebody that would have 10 or 14 relapses, like every relapse somebody has a story behind it. And I feel every artist, without changing lyrics, you know what I mean? Without changing the
Yeah.
words that Fox put, told a different story with each of these songs, for sure.
You really did. I like how the cover art kind of is like the, distractions. You got the same model with those, but
Yeah.
it's much bigger and brighter in color. And with that layered
Yeah.
photography, was this photographs from that shoot, or was there another shoot?
Same shoot. So my wife was the one that took the photograph. The girl in the photo is a girl from Bay City, Michigan, the town where I live. Her name's Marissa, and she has alopecia, so she has no hair, and she also was predestined for breast cancer, so she had the augmentation early in life just to avoid it later in life. So like going into it, she was like the most like graceful looking model, and then we put this makeup on her and we put these like contacts in her she couldn't see, and just like blindly led her around the state park in Bay City, Michigan. Yeah, we got like 100 photos of her, so we use her for a lot of stuff, t-shirt designs and flyers. And but yeah, like I love how you notice the obviously the dichotomy between the two, one being dark and one being bright. The artist that did this artwork for us was their name's Jay Echevarria, I believe is how you say. They're from like Allentown, Pennsylvania area. And when we were talking about the artwork, like I didn't want too much influence in it. Like I didn't want to say use these colors or stupid shit like that. It was just like, here's some photos. This is the same model that we used for the previous record. The previous record was about overcoming something dark, right? Hence all the darkness, barely, like there's just this girl's face poking through. And with this record, it was, years after I had my last drink of alcohol. And, years, it's been 6 months since the record had been out, basically since we got to this point, 8 months or so. And when I was the artist was also somebody that had recently gone or found sobriety as well. So we both kind of were concluding that, like, a lot of people don't talk about what life is like on the other side of sobriety. A lot of people just kind of point out the days that they've been sober and how much better, their health is and stuff. But, it's so much more than that for a lot of people. So I think the bright colors and stuff are the artist's way of kind of depicting, like, after you overcome something dark, even if it's not addiction, anything bad that you can overcome, there's bright colors on the other side, essentially, is what that artwork was supposed to say.
I love it.
Are you ready for the hardcore kids that are going to say he's going for the cyber grind money?
I hope so. Is there
he's gonna
money
be
in
lighting cigars with $100 bills soon?
Is there money in cyber grind? Hell
Well,
yes.
And honestly, I could hear some of these tracks being like in a video game,
But you're going to have comments like
Yes.
that, Yeah.
Yes, please. Someone said that the other night. We were like doing like a live thing, and we were doing the Bandcamp listening party, which I don't know if you've ever done one of those, John, but it was really fun. Like the record played live at 7 p.m. on Bandcamp to whoever logged in at that time. So it's kind of cool, and we got to sit there and there's like a live chat. So like people were just asking questions, and Rick from our label was sitting in on it too. And we're just kind of chit-chatting back and forth, and someone was like, this the Frontier track and the John Connor track both need to be in video games, and I'm like, oh my god, all these
It's
tracks
true.
need to be in video games. But yeah, that'd be so cool. That'd be such an honor to be part of something like that.
That's great. I mean, there's so much great to say about Bandcamp, and it keeps getting bought, and it makes me nervous as hell every time it gets bought. I'm like, fuck, what's gonna happen now? You know. So we've
Yeah.
been safe so far, you know. But
So John and Jimmy worked together previously in the Heartland. What was that project like? Oh,
John, we can't hear you.
He must be muted.
Uh-oh.
His
He's not
thing's
muted.
not
He
on
just
mute.
he just doesn't. Do you have headphones maybe? Some earbuds? I got these majiggers. Boop boop. Good thing we worked
right,
this
buddy.
all out. You can hear us fine, obviously.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wondered like I hadn't heard him chime in yet, and I'm like, Jonathan is way wittier than all this silence.
all that wit has gone to waste up until now.
I know I bragged to Mark about how much fun it was going to be having the two of you in here.
Oh.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
I've
out.
been trying to I did a few podcasts over the last week, and I tried to bring a different artist with me each time, and it's been
Oh, neat.
adventurous for sure.
That's cool.
Well, while we're waiting for him to figure out, so
Yeah.
did you go to people or did people come to you?
Was it like people you toured with or what? I mean, or all of the
Oh,
above?
as far as the remix artists, right? Well, I'll let John tell his story once he figures his out. He was one of the first to come. Everybody kind of has their own story. Like some people I knew, like for example, Rich Lombardi from the Sawtooth Grin. Oh, John.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Hey!
Yes,
Yay. Okay.
I got it. I
Okay.
promise I know how to use computers.
Dang internets.
Yeah, I love
Don't you work remotely over Zoom?
I do
Like
all the time.
as
I'm
your
a
job?
computer, so I haven't used this webcam since the pandemic, really.
Oh,
Yeah, so
well,
sorry.
that's fun.
I should have
That's all
checked.
right.
But-
Yeah, I get that. We had to buy a new laptop, and the first interview we did after, like the guy kept coming on and we couldn't hear him, and then we realized it was us.
Yeah,
Oh.
I just had
Really?
it set to the wrong input device.
Yeah. No. Well, anyway, so all right. So how did you come to this? This menu of amazing artists.
Yeah, well, like I was saying, Jonathan was one of the first, and I'll let Jimmy and John kind of fill that story in. We've known each other, like the three of us have known each other for at least 16 years, and you two have known each other, what, 20 plus?
I think it's actually 19 this year. I think it was
Yeah.
2005 is when I booked y'all in Columbus, which was the year that Jimmy joined the Heartland, actually,
Yeah.
which makes
What was
sense.
that project like?
Chaotic and a lot of fun. Actually, so you call him Jimmy Blastbeats. The day I met Jim, my mom, we'd been trying out a bunch of drummers at my parents' house. And my mom was after Jim played, she was like, he's got the blast beats. He's good at blast beats. He's a lot better at that than the other drummers. And I think it's funny that to this day he's just really well known for being extraordinarily good at blasting.
Stop it.
Chef Blast Beats.
Chef
That's a great name for a band. I would be expecting the Heartlands to open for like Bruce Springsteen or something. I mean,
Well,
I wish we
named
did.
a record after John Cougar Mellencamp.
yeah, right. Yeah, was the next one I was gonna say. Yeah.
We did.
It is very American of a name, the Heartland.
Yeah.
Or even like country. I could see it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean there is a country band called Heartland.
But you guys were the Heartland.
We're the Heartland, right?
We
Yep,
are
right.
the Heartland. Yeah.
Totally
And
different.
this
I
is
mean,
Jimmy
Bandcamp
Blastbeat.
stuff sometimes, but
Yeah, it was that was a lot of fun. those times. And that's actually how we met Drew and
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rick. Rick was in the band back in the day. He's our current bass player now. And we just had a lot of fun, and we just stayed in contact over the years. And John and I, you know, we do all sorts of music projects together, and we've, you know, been friends since 2005. So
Yeah.
we click well together, and we write awful music together, and so it's great. Sorry, I had to
So-
pun that.
No, that's a clever pun.
Jonathan, did they let you pick what track, or did they assign you one?
I was assigned a track.
No, you picked.
I picked out of it. I got like last pick. It was
Nuh-uh.
no, it was a
That's
good.
not true.
No, it's totally fine. It's actually the song I would have picked anyway. I think
You can
so.
have anything between track 13 and track 14. There you
Honestly,
go.
it was honestly, you were one of the first people, but you wanted strange music, and I was like, shit, I'm doing that one already. That was his gripe. That's right.
Yeah, to crush his dreams, Drew. Thanks a lot.
I know, I know.
I
But
tell
he
you, what,
did
I
a
love
really,
That's all right. I think
he
the
did a
remix-
wonderful job.
I really love the devil in maybe, and I really loved why can't you behave as well. I mean, that one turned out fantastic. I mean, I was just
Oh, the
That's
thought
my
crime
pick.
one, yeah.
oh
The
god, yeah.
the devil in
That's-
me, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
the one that I feel like when Drew let me hear like all of these things, like as they were coming in, I was like, this one sounds like video game, like Mega Man, or like, you know, some crazy shit. Cause it's just like,
For me,
it's 100% go the whole time. It's like,
yeah.
You were like, this is cyber grind money. This is it.
it
put this in Sonic.
Thought Crime did such a cool job of making this like early 2000s metalcore song out
Yeah.
of like computer sounds.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I heard it, I went right to their Bandcamp. I was like, all right, I got to know more about this band because I had never heard of them before. Yeah. No.
Oh, they're
Totally.
great.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
great.
Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Um,
how, because John's track is the second song to go onto the record, because the first song actually is a collaborative art or a collaborative effort from Fox, Drew, and myself, from our band. And then John's just kicks it off, and it's awesome. It really sets the tone for the rest of the record.
Yeah.
And I really love what he did with it. It sounds great.
Yeah.
And
I love that it's the only dance track.
yes,
Like if you think about electronic music, you know, throughout the record, there's so many like, you know, cyber grind and noise and, you know, different like different versions of music, but that one has like the danciest hook to it. And it's
does.
like right out the gates. It's like our remix that Jimmy and I did is like, you know, this giant breakdown that's just like filthy. And then right out of the gates, it goes into a dance track, and I'm like, man, that's fucking perfect.
You can picture the hardcore kids are going, I turned it off at track 2. What the fuck?
Yeah, and be like, well, I guess this
That's what it
record's
is.
not for you because it's
Exactly right.
bye. Yeah, you screwed
yeah,
up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
your
So how
fault.
did the creative process go for you, Jonathan? Were you like, did you come up and bring ideas to the table, or were you kind of presented with a path to go on, or?
No, I mean, it was kind of, they sent me some stems, and then I took kind of the approach that I would normally take to a remix, which is to get rid of most of it and try and make something completely different. But I kept a number of parts that Drew did because I really liked them. So normally I would just delete everything and only use the vocal.
Yeah.
But I felt like the juxtaposition of like shred guitar over frankly pretty sleazy dance, like
Yeah,
electro
it
dance.
is it's very sleazy.
It's like
Like it makes me think of like purple neon lights.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was that's the goal. Perfect. That's what I'm always
Like
trying.
fucking stake a flamingo in the ground. Let's go.
It should
we-
feel like flashing lights.
Yeah, I love that. I love that scene in the Woodstock 99 documentary where they're talking to Moby and
Oh,
he's
God.
like, where's this person that wants to hear Metallica and then is going to a rave? And I'm like, here. I was like, they don't exist. And I'm like, fuck off. Get him off.
That's
Shut up, Moby.
that's like, tell me that you don't know anything about the dance music culture. without-
Exactly. Right. I was just like, all right, well, you've just dated yourself forever, Mm.
99, he didn't know better. It's a weird year.
Nobody's going to watch this anyway.
I mean, nobody was in a like what is he talking about?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's talking about like, why did they have a rave tent? And it just,
Yeah.
There's always another module.
I love the crossovers that are going on. Like we were talking to Johnny from Health, and they've put like a lot
Yeah.
more metal into their last album.
Yeah.
So I
It's
was like,
so
you know,
good too. Rat Wars is
Oh,
fucking
God,
chef's
that's what we
kiss.
just talking about. He did the whole interview in a kimono. It was great. He was like, I get up, but I don't have on pants. I
I
was
think
like,
you forgot.
Oh.
I think you forgot. Yeah.
but you know, they have that whole cum metal thing, and I was looking at their merch. They actually have a butt plug, so maybe that might be where you want to go with your
I could
merch.
totally see that for See You Next Tuesday. Totally.
That'd be great.
You can make a tentacle dildo.
Right. Like the
Whoa.
wife wanders over to the merch table and she says, wait a minute.
Or a big parasite. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a parasite dildo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Jimmy, for this, did you have to change your drum setup or change your equipment, or were you able to go with what you had?
So Drew and I, this was kind of a new process for him and I too. We recorded in his garage, but we used a hybrid drum kit setup. So we used basically the electronic pads from an electronic kit and used real cymbals and used a real snare drum. And then it was just kind of easier because at the time we didn't have the microphone set up to like record an entire drum kit, and we decided to skip doing this in a studio and, you know, mesh together Slav Watson studio and recorded things at his house. And so it was actually kind of neat. He had bought like overhead mics and stuff for the cymbals to get those recorded and stuff, and snare mics. And I got to keep basically my exact same setup that I use live. It was just replacing acoustic drums for electronic drums.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so pads instead of like shells, they're just pads.
Right.
Which, you know, for me too, it was like we originally were talking about doing the few tracks and just getting into a studio. So I think I mentioned last time when you guys talked with us, Distractions was mastered by Josh Schroeder, who did like the Lorna Shore records and stuff. He lives a half hour away from me. So like we actually were talking to him about booking time to record these drums, and I don't know what it was, but I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I think I'm just gonna try to figure out how to record drums. I recorded this whole other record, you know, in my own studio and shit. So, and since then I bought more mics and we did some acoustic recording recently too. So we got some more stuff in the kitchen. Chef did some cooking. Chef Blast Beats over here did a little weekender of blasting. It was a fun time.
Oh yeah, I was like that lady from Happy Gilmore when she's like, my fingers hurt. I did. I think we did a day and a half solid of just recording, and then spent like the other half day using that time to rehearse for the tour weekend that we just did.
Yeah, the Meth Cedar release shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that recording process was actually very interesting. It was you know, Drew's first time doing that with drums, so it was a lot of all right, let's try that again, and don't get mad, Jimmy, don't get upset. Jimmy, calm down.
You had
You
some
can do
drum
this.
solos too.
What's that?
You had some drum solos in there too.
Oh,
Or
thank
it's
you.
just all you. So So it was a different sound though, I can tell.
I had to.
Yeah, well,
I had to
he
learn.
played drums on 3 of the tracks, track 1, 5, and 9.
That
Which
was
were
a
the
good one.
tracks that we redid, yeah. Yeah, because he
Well-
did those like grind. We did those the cyber grind tracks from Distractions. We kind of remade those into grindcore songs. That was like one of the original ideas I had for this whole thing. It was actually originally almost started as like a project, just something I was gonna try, but it shortly was like, it'd be way cooler if I had Jonathan Thompson help out do a remix, and Curly Swope from Zombie Shark. Actually, at that show that you guys were at,
Yeah.
did you guys meet Curly? You know who Zombie Shark is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do now, but I didn't before. No.
Oh, okay. He was at that show too.
Oh wow.
Okay. Okay.
I saw them.
Yeah.
That's
What was
funny.
that?
So to bring it full circle, I saw them with Health in
That's
Pittsburgh.
so funny.
It's
Yeah.
all related.
That's so awesome. He was talking about that show being just epic. But
When we talked to
yeah,
Johnny
he was
from Health, he was like, Coachella is not what it used to be. We went down this crazy path. He was like, well, I used to love Coachella. I can't even go anymore. Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, Curly was at that show that you guys were at, and I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Do you think collectively there's a track that was changed the most in your opinion from the original?
Yeah.
I would say the John Connor track or the Thought Crime tracks. So this Desired Departure and then The Devil in Me. Both of those tracks were kind of what Jonathan was talking about, where like most of the time he would do a remix, he would delete everything except for just the vocal track. And that's what those two artists both did. They wrote completely new songs and just used Fox's vocal track. And that was the only thing that was from our original track. Whereas like Jonathan used the vocal track and like some guitar tracks and some other elements, and all the other artists had a pretty good amount of flair of usage. One that I think did the best job of using the most was James from Black Magnet, the other side, which was our second single. I think he used the most stuff out of the original track, and he like took the heaviest riff from the original track and turned it into another heavy riff, and I thought it was fucking brilliant. But
That's funny that you say that about deleting everything, because you're right. Like the Blue Stolly and Rabbit Junk and some of these bands I like, I'll hear the
Yeah.
original and I'll be like, "Ugh," because I like the remix is so much better. Like, oh, this is what you had to work with. Ugh, so.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is a lot of remix artists, like a lot of remixes that I hear of metal bands, is like they'll take one little part, one little hook or one line or something very minimal from the original track and then write like a dance track.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this record is it's like every artist brought something so vastly different, but all of them brought it in an aggressive way. Like even Child of Night's edits, like for being the danciest track on the record, has a filthy breakdown. That bass you got, man, is like that is thick. But it's aggressive, and and then the track right after him, the Macau edit that one is just fucking off the wall.
No thanks.
So
awesome.
I had a question about the Gold Room, and you had it listed as a previously unfinished track.
Yeah.
Were there any others that kind of hit the cutting room floor that we might see resurface?
No, that was it. Honestly, that was actually kind of a continuation of of Strange Music, the closing track to Distractions. It closes right now, or how I ended up ending it was just like that arpeggiating guitar that kind of drifts off. That arpeggiating guitar originally Well, I was kind of fucking around with it one night, and I used this software called Ableton, which is my recording software. There's a feature in there where you can turn an audio signal into MIDI information, and then you can put any plugin on that MIDI information, and it outputs notes. So on something that's easy, like something like a drum or something that has very distinct things, like it usually outputs something relatively usable. But sometimes when you put it on complex stuff, it outputs like something fun. So in this case, it gave me like 7 octaves of MIDI information. It was total just nonsense. And I separated it and I started making this kind of like orchestral vibe where I had like these different synths that were layered, and that's what you still hear in the intro to the song. You hear those kind of like rumbling, almost they kind of sound like tubas and violins and stuff, but it's all synthesizers. So I had started writing this track, and it had a simple drum beat on it, and I was trying to get heavy with it and trying to add guitars with it and kind of bring it back to make sense to be part of that song, and it just never happened. And like I just wanted to be done with the record, like I was like, this isn't it's not for this record, unfortunately. So I just kind of dropped it, and then that might have been probably idea one for this remix record, was like, what better way to finish this electronic song than to start a whole fucking project, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like it.
yeah, that sounds
So
good.
yeah, so that's how that kind of came together. But yeah, unfortunately that was everything there.
Yeah, I love the lyrics. The walls we built are already burnt to the ground. We can stay, we can live here in the ash, or we can jump headfirst into the flames. Can you kind of
Yeah.
explain what the choices mean there?
Well, I personally
that a
didn't write
Fox
the
thing?
lyrics. Yeah, that was definitely
The Fox
Fox.
thing, yeah.
I can tell you, Fox Fox was a very busy dude at the time of all this stuff going on. So he actually didn't have a whole heck of a lot to do with this whole remix album. Which distractions he had, a fair share of stuff that he helped out with. Sorry, my phone was notifying me that it needs to be charged, so I was grabbing a charger.
Okay.
But yeah, not to get too personal, but he was definitely like he was in the process of making a long-term relationship like close type of situation, and then like it all fell apart at the last second, and then like a week later Pedram and I finished this song.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I know a lot of that has to do with just the pain of a promise breaker, you know what I mean?
All right.
All right. Well, we play a game on the show, and I'd like all the children to participate.
Oh boy.
Oh shit.
It's called Blaspheming Monikers. And Drew should
What was
know 'cause
that?
he's been through it once, I think.
No, I think we were still doing
Oh, we didn't do it last time. Okay.
Last
We
meeting,
might have-
what?
Blaspheming Monikers. So I have 5 band names. One of them I made up. You guys have to guess which one is fake.
Sniff out the fake one.
Sniff out the
Oh,
fake
God.
band name. Okay.
Do we consult each other and then
I'll
decide
just,
on
why don't we just eat? Well, I'll laser in on 1, 2, 3.
all right,
So who wants to go first?
not it.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Jonathan,
Okay,
there it
yeah.
is.
Jonathan's a
Yeah.
brave
All right.
man.
Jonathan, you're going to find there's a theme here. Okay. So again, these are all real except for one.
If it's black metal, you're screwed because Jonathan will probably know.
I don't, all right. First band's name is Fun Cunt.
Oh,
Second
all right.
is War Cunt. Third is Cunt Goat. Fourth is Cunt Squad. And fifth is Buzz Cunt.
Man, this all sound
So-
plausible.
Fun Cunt, War Cunt, Cunt Goat, Cunt Squad, and Buzz Cunt.
Okay. I'm guessing it's Fun Cunt.
Fun Cunt is a real band. They are prog metal from Finland. They have 2 early 90s demos and then they broke up, which is a
2 early
shame.
90s.
What a
They were
great
from
name.
Finland, though. I
Yeah.
should have known that.
Finland, where every name has like a million umlauts in it. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Right.
Okay,
Oh
who's next?
man.
Do
Wait,
we
who was the
do
fake?
Let's do Mr. Blast Beats. Come on.
Wait. Who was fake?
We
I-
got,
no,
you gotta
no,
keep guessing.
We got to keep guessing.
Oh,
Oh,
All right.
Oh.
All right. Come on, Mr. Blast Beats. What do you think? You got, we know Fun Cunt is real. We got War Cunt, Cunt Goat, Cunt Squad, and Buzz Cunt.
I don't. This isn't my answer, but Buzz Cunt is sick. Cunt Squad sounds
that sounds.
fake.
I don't know. That's the most
I'm gonna
real
go with-
sounding to me.
I don't know. Like, I picture like the Suicide Squad, but like
That sounds awesome. A cunt
But they're a
squad.
bunch of cunts.
like us
so.
just going on tour. The Cunt Squad.
Yeah. Should that be should that be Ravioli's name? Should I change Ravioli's name to the cunt squad?
You can. Yeah.
I'm so glad we have such an impact on the underground.
I'm gonna say Cunt Squad is the fake.
They're from Australia. They have 3 EPs and 1 full length, and
I
they
was
have,
gonna say Australian.
and they have a female singer who
Awesome.
said, "Great name. I'm on board."
Cunt squad is great. That was
Yeah.
my favorite name out of the 5.
All right, we got the big man now. All right, let's hear it. All right, so you got War Cunt, Cunt Goat, or Buzz Cunt.
See, I want to say cunt goat because grammatically that doesn't make any sense, but it
Well, grammar is very important in these situations.
exactly. So I guess I'm gonna have to go with cunt goat because it just doesn't make sense unless it was like
Yeah.
foreign and like
Oh man, they're Russian. They're black metal, and they have 3
Damn it.
EPs, and they all came out last year. So somebody woke up and said, "Cunt
I would
Goat."
have guessed war metal, frankly.
Buzz Cunt is the one I made up.
Just adding.
what?
Yeah,
Jimmy,
They're
you
not
had
real.
it, man. You should have went. You should have went with your gut.
Well, and that's any band that's watching this, take the name because it's like Buzz Cut, except it's Buzz Cunt.
That's
I know.
our band. That's our
Genius.
band name now.
Yeah,
That's ours.
Attention all
Jonathan
units,
and Jimmy
we've changed
Blanche
everything.
Beats.
Yeah, are we starting another band called Buzz Cunt?
Sick.
You heard
Yep.
it here
And then
first.
when you book the venue, they could say Buzz Cut. Yeah, it is. And then when you play, you're like, no.
Let's get Rick. Let's get Rick on Good Fight on the Horn. We got an idea.
Hear me out.
Hear me out.
All
The
right.
name's Buzz Cunt.
Buzz
Oh my
Cunt.
God.
Yeah.
So, Jonathan, we haven't heard anything about Child of Night. So, what's going on with you guys?
We're currently working on another record. That's
Hmm.
what we're doing. We toured a whole bunch last year. And the year before that. And a little bit the year before that. And now we're working on some new stuff.
Were you touring mostly in the US or?
Yeah, exclusively.
So for Jonathan, also, I want to ask you, like, what remixes have you heard where you've been like, fuck, I could have done better than that? The money he's making, I mean, tell me some. There's got to be.
remixes that I'm like, wow, I could do better than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't really listen to music that way.
Come on.
I never like sit down and I'm like, you know what? I think I could do better than this.
I don't really breathe oxygen that much. I really can't answer this question.
I'm sorry.
I
I
just, this is a question I've always wanted to
really
ask a
bad
remix
remixes
artist.
out
It's
there,
been
but
like,
that's,
really,
like, just
you
my
had
opinion.
this and you did that, so.
So who came up with that crazy video for Glad to Be Unhappy, Call Me Irresponsible with
Is
the
that the one we were watching?
UFO and the baby
That's-
cyborgs?
That's what we were watching earlier.
With
Oh, yeah.
your
It
cover
reminded
girl
me of Terry Gilliam, Monty Python.
diving in and out of
Moving the
It's
steps.
awesome,
Alice in
yeah.
Wonderland.
Yeah.
I love it. It's this this dude from France. There's this French grindcore band called Warfuck, which war
Great
cunt.
name.
As soon as you said that, I was like, war cunt's got to be real.
Buzz-
If Warfuck
Buzz,
exists, But yeah, there's a band called Warfuck. They're great. They're from Lyon, France, and they're on a little label called Liviant or something like that. Laviant or something. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, they put out a video that was that stop motion stuff, and I did a little bit of research, and the guy that owns the label that worked with them does the animation, and I just reached out to him. That's all he does is like these really over the top, like wacky videos for grindcore bands, because like he talks about how much work it is to do all the little, like,
Right.
you know, each screen is so much motion and stuff that like that 1 minute is like a 40-hour week for him.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I just reached out to him, was like, hey, I got these 2 tracks, they're 35 seconds each. What would you charge? And, you know, a couple of weeks later he replied and was like, you know, definitely be interested. Here's what I charge, you know, and can you make it work? And we agreed to terms. And then he was like, okay, I have this tour. I'll start working on it when I get back. And then like he just disappeared. And then like way longer than he said he would. And I kept just telling myself, like, dude was traveling, you know, you never know what can happen when you're traveling and stuff. So I ended up getting kind of scared, and I even reached out to like some other animation artists just to kind of get some ideas out there just in case something happened. And I started talking to another guy that was pretty serious, and then like out of nowhere, his name is Ugo. Ugo just like popped back in and was like, hey, I'm here. I got the video mapped out. You know, here's some easy clips of some of the scenes, and just like that, he was like, I can have it done in a week. And I was like, oh shit, yes, let's do this. So it was like kind of scary because like in my head, I knew he was the person for the job. As soon as I saw that animation that he did, I was like, that's gonna have an imprint. You know what I mean? And what better way to have like 2 grindcore songs back to back with Kyle Medina of Body Snatcher and Rich Lombardi from the Sawtooth Grin? You know what I mean? Like I just wanted everything about the announcement of this record to be like top tier. And like the dude that Ugo that made that video just fucking killed it. And he's very reasonable for any band that wants ridiculous animation. Very reasonable. Very, very easy guy to work with.
Every 35 seconds is 40 hours. I would have been like, all right, my song is called Tales of Topographic Oceans. It's 26.5 minutes long. Let me know what you can do with that.
Yeah, he said he did like this 8 or 10 minute video for somebody. What?
Is that
Oh.
Is that a Blue Oyster Cult reference
Yes,
or a Yes
it's a yes reference. Yes.
Yes.
There it
Okay.
is. There it is.
Thank you. Sorry. Go ahead, Drew. My
No,
brain
it's
went
all right.
somewhere.
It was gonna be.
he
He was gonna be up in the middle of the night if he hadn't asked the question. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, Ugo had said that he did a project that was like 8 or 10 minutes long or something like that, and it was like it took him and 2 other people working on it 40 hours a week for 3 weeks.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's just
Give him
insane
a
to
heart
think
attack,
about.
poor guy.
And it's so sad to think that like in a couple years that's just going to be something you just type into fucking AI.
Oh, because AI. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah, but all the faces are fucked up. All you know. I mean, hopefully they
Yeah.
can fix that because all the AI videos I see, the faces don't look like real people. You know. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll fix it.
I mean, it's just stolen art. Is all it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I had a question about your upcoming tour.
Yeah.
What are you going to be playing?
Yeah. How much of this material do you think is going to be played live?
2 songs.
Okay.
We just did them this past weekend when we toured with Meth for their CD release. We did the repeating patterns and Sweetest Pot back to back, just like we did on the music video. And it's fucking brutal. There's a video of Jimmy playing it online. I couldn't be more proud of that guy playing that on that song, man. Like it was crazy. We posted it to our TikTok, which isn't very popular because like no one gives a shit about us on TikTok. But that video, just everyone's just like, "Holy shit, that dude can play some drums!" I'm like, that's That's Jimmy Blast Beats.
Right. Yeah. That's why he's called that. Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking,
Yeah.
you know, we talked to Brian from Thou, and they did an album with Emma Ruth Rundle, and they freaking went on tour with this and like did the whole. I was like, you guys could do that with Jonathan.
Yeah.
You
Good.
literally just said one of my favorite bands ever.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, one of mine too.
collaboration is incredible.
Yeah. It's
It
great.
is.
It's great.
So good. That Cranberries cover they did is
Yeah.
so
And
good.
just between us, she sends Brian from Thou contact lenses.
Yeah, you know, I work
We were
for
his
an eye
official
doctor, and
contact
he
lens
was having
supplier.
problems getting his contact lenses. So we get free samples, so I send it. But he's got kind of a weird prescription, so I send him contacts. He sends me
That
t-shirts. I
rules.
send him contacts.
That
That's
rules.
awesome. Yeah. Fuck
We
yeah.
we have a day off on our tour in between Texas and Florida, and we're hoping to stop and hang out in New Orleans if we have some time. And he owns a record store there, and I'm hoping to see if we can stop by and check it out.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we were touring and we were able to go through New Orleans, it was around the time of Katrina. You know, it was within a year of Katrina going through there. So like a lot of the cool stuff that we wanted to see, I never got to. So I'm really excited to have a day off. Also, I'm 40 now, so I need a day off on a tour. It's crazy to think because, like, see you next Tuesday back in the day, a day off on tour was like fucking sacrilegious. John, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you went out for 30 days, you played 32 shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You bet
32
it.
in a row.
Yeah. Because, you know, at least 2 nights there's going to be like a party that's got an after party that you end up playing in the garage or something.
Yeah.
Or you play like, I don't know, somebody's house before, or like a record store before a venue, or things like that.
Oh, yeah. Hell
We're
yeah.
going on
John
our
and
second
I-
year. We're going on our second year doing this show, and we've pretty much learned that there's 100 people in the underground, basically. And that's it. And we've interviewed half of them at this point, so you know, we're all bumping into each other. You know, so.
We're gonna see
In
them all at
2000
Maryland
Awesome.
Death Fest very shortly.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
John and I in 2006 when we were in the Heartland together, we went and played New Orleans, and that was we had a show fall through, and we were on tour with this band that's fucking huge then and now called The Devil Wears Prada. Like they
yeah.
used to play with us all the time at this really small it was called the Fisherman's Club.
Yeah.
And they used to play
Those
with
were the
us all the
days.
time. And then they took us on tour when they first released their very first record with Rise Records. And we had a show fall through, and somehow they were like, hey, do you guys want to go play with Bleeding Through? And we were like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jim, it was the other way around, dude.
Was it?
Bleeding Through, yeah, we had a show, and Bleeding Through got added to our show.
Oh, that's right.
Which they headlined because they were way bigger than everyone else, even Devil Wears Prada at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a show and they got added to our show, which is way funnier.
In the early 2000s, I used to have a webzine, and I wrote a review of an I Hate God album, and Mike Nine said, "I'd like to write for your website or your website." So Mike Nine from I Hate God wrote reviews for me for a while. And
That's
everything he
awesome.
wrote was like Satan, death, nails, love it, you know, fuck your mother. It was awesome. I loved him. It was the best. You know? And then he had some like health problems, and you know, I lost him, but it was just like he came to me. I was like, God, I love New Orleans, you know.
That
That's
rules.
crazy.
Crazy.
We had
I've
fun
never
there,
been.
though.
What would you recommend hitting in New Orleans? Because hopefully we'll go at some point.
We might not come back.
Oh wow, we hit a dude's house that was in the middle of nowhere that was super scary, and he took us all out for breakfast the next morning, and then he had to bail because he had a bee job on the West Bank. He was a guy that went and got bees out of people's
Pest control,
properties.
right?
Wow.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
in the
That's a
there.
job?
So
Okay.
there he would deal with like wild boars and stuff like that too.
Oh, right. Right.
He was
Man,
like,
jobs in the South or something.
Yeah.
And we
He got
talked
a
to Sammy
call.
from we talked to Sammy from Goat Whore, and I was rattling off all these great bands from down there, like Mystic Crew, Clearlight, and God Hate God. And he goes, "It sounds like you've only heard the good bands. You haven't heard any of the shitty ones. There's so many." It was the best answer. Yeah.
Oh man. For every good band, there's a
is-
bad band. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. In every scene, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, good and bad are totally subjective. So I mean, at least there's bands, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I have the best time at shows where the bands are either really good or horrible. If they're horrible, I actually probably have a better time because laughing at it's so fun.
I-
I mean,
even a bad band cannot ruin a show, but a bad crowd, on the
Yeah.
other hand,
yeah.
there's definitely bands that I could even like their music or would like their music, but their fans are so shitty or scary. You know what I mean? Like we definitely
Well,
played some shows with
who?
like hardcore.
Like name names, like who? Like who were some examples? Like
Well, like growing up, in the playing like wacky grindcore in a world of bands like that were scary hardcore bands. Like we played shows with like Terror and Donnybrook and just random. You'd play these shows or these fests and like they try to mix you in with some stuff and it doesn't always pan out.
right. Yeah.
I always tell this story. This is actually a positive story about the situation, but it was kind of one of those shows where I culminated to where like I'm done giving fucks. If hardcore kids don't like my band, then it is what it is. We're weird. I get it. You know what I mean? But it took me some time to come to that term, that. But anyway, I wanted to please everybody. I want everyone to like this wackiness. But anyway, we played this show in Erie, Pennsylvania. And it was a similar situation to what Jimmy was describing, whereas like we're on tour, we had a tour booked and we had an opening date. There was a show that was already going on. This was weeks before the show was going on. And right before tour even started, and it was like the probably the third day on tour or something like that, because it's Pennsylvania. It might have even been the first show. I can't remember exactly. But we're heading to start a tour with Heavy Heavy Lolo to just meet up with the sassy people that we are accustomed to. And we played this place called the front hall or something like that. And we didn't even know who was on the show. We just knew there was a show going on. I thought it was like a local type of situation. And I thought it was like a fisherman's hall or like a VFW hall. It was called like the Front Street Hall or something like that. So I'm just like, it's probably just like a local hall or something. You know what? I think Heavy Low was on the show with us. Because I almost want to say they might have got some beef going on, but they're loudmouths. So, but anyway, we get there and it's like Reign Supreme and Donnybrook and some other New York hardcore band and us and Heavy Heavy Lolo. And it's like a full-on fucking venue. It's not like a shitty hall. It's this giant, huge venue with a huge stage and lights and like 500 kids with basketball shorts on. And we're just like, God damn it. We're just like, fuck it, we're over it. So like we just decided we're just gonna give it our all, and we just like got up there and fucking ripped it. And I remember the bass player Donnybrook, who's like 7 foot tall, wearing like a basketball jersey and like a gigantic gold chain, just like hanging out watching our set up on stage. Afterwards he gives me this giant hug. He's like, man, you guys fucking awesome. This is this fucking dude just like hyped on. He's like, I'm gonna get up. You made me ready to jam.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wild, and like, clearly people weren't there to see what we did, but we didn't get booed off the stage.
That's
You know
the
what
way
I
to
mean?
handle it. That's the way to handle it. So
Yeah,
it's funny, it reminds me
exactly.
when we were talking to Johnny from Health, we were swapping DJing stories because we both were DJs.
Oh yeah.
And I told him about that when I was DJing, there was always that dude that would come up to me when I had a lot of female butts out there moving, and he would be like, "I'd like you to play Vicarious from Tool." No,
Right now.
I got fucking
Now?
Donna Summer going. How about you go chat somebody up? I am not gonna fucking play Tool.
Right now.
Give me a break. I don't care if
Maybe
it's your
later.
favorite music ever,
Man, I would have killed when I was a DJ. I would have killed for that, man. I live
You
in a
didn't have
small
that? You didn't have
town.
any fucking, I had it like every week. Some fucking
No, dude,
Steve
I
Morton Primus or something. Always.
no, never. For me, like it was like I would do my best to play like the 90s rock that I could deal with, that they all knew, and then someone would come up inevitably and ask for some fucking Jason Aldean song or some shit like that.
Oh,
And I
okay,
just
yeah.
like swallow my pride and
Yeah, yeah, I was all
I
about
live in
having
I live in
bodies on the
small town
floor.
America though, man. It's about country up here.
Yeah,
Which
good
we were
shit.
talking about, Jimmy, before you got on here. They were talking that they were making people mad on TikTok about hating on country. And I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
whoa,
okay.
Jimmy,
So
Jimmy loves
let me let
country.
me let me
I
explain
gotta
it,
go.
okay? Let me explain it. So again, let me explain it. All right. So again, we're not anti-country, but we just noticed this dichotomy where the new stuff seems like it's all about, I love this bar, I love this car, whose panties are these in the glove box? The old stuff is the total opposite. Johnny Cash, Emmylou Harris. It's my brother got caught in the farm machinery.
Jolene, please don't take my man.
Yeah,
Oh,
the ghost
listen.
of the daughter that died in the coal mines. There's no in between, or unless
Gonna hang me tomorrow.
we're getting some shit for that. Yeah.
Listen, Rick and I are the country boys. We love us some Hank Williams, some
Yeah.
Marty Robbins. We will fucking listen to that after every show when we drive to the hotel. Drew probably goes out of his fucking mind because he's probably like, "What am I listening to right now?" And
No, I love it. I love Hank
I
Williams Sr. and I
yeah,
love Towns
yeah,
Van Zandt and shit like that, but it's so
yeah.
fucking dark. I mean, white people, we love fucking murder and tragedy. We love it. I mean,
I think everybody loves that. You know
That's it.
the
It's
I
either
agree.
murder or tragedy, or I think she thinks my tractor's sexy.
yeah, that's the
Nah,
thing. There's no middle ground.
but the tractor sexy is lumped in with the newer stuff, and I
Yeah.
agree with that because it's I heard the term for this when I was in Nashville one of the last times I was in Nashville, and someone said hick hop, and I laughed my ass off
What is
because
it called?
hick hop, it's hick
I love it.
music to a
Yeah.
hip hop beat, which is what the majority of all the new country that's coming out
Yeah.
today
It's
is.
like the playlist at fucking Texas Roadhouse.
Oh my
No,
God.
I will say this: Texas Roadhouse gets it right because they play '90s country a lot of the time, and so that's still good in my opinion.
There was not the one here in Saginaw, man. It's
What was the place where you went to that? Is it? You said it was the Applebee's and fucking
Benton Harbor, dude.
Ben
It
Harbor.
was out of control. Yeah, my wife and I were like heading to Chicago, and we drove through Benton Harbor, which is just this shithole town in Michigan that has a fuckload of crime for no reason. And we go to this Applebee's to get dinner because we're cheapskates because we're on a road trip. And dude, we walk in and there's like hip hop music like blasting, and like the lights are dim, and like they have like some motion lights and stuff. I'm
Oh,
like,
wow.
what the fuck, dude? This Applebee's is lit. And that's just been like the joke every time we drive to fucking Chicago. We pass through Benton Harbor and be like, hey, there's that fucking lit Applebee's. But
I
like,
saw it this time.
yeah,
we drove by
like we even got seated, and the waitress was like, "Oh my God, your man's got a nice chest." And I was wearing like a V-neck, and she's like, "Oh, he got hair," and she like ran her nails through my hair
Nice.
on my chest,
Oh,
like
my.
in front of my wife.
Oh, my.
And I'm just like, I'm married to her.
I'm uncomfortable.
I remember I read the story.
My wife thought it was hilarious though, because I choked up like a little girl. And she
I'll
was
bet.
laughing her
I'll
ass
bet.
off.
I'll bet. Well, I mean, on the country music thing, I remember I read this story. Billy Gibbons, he used to half his shit I never believed, but he told the story about one day he was like at a recording studio somewhere in Nashville, and he went out back for a cigarette or something, and Towns Van Zandt was in the dumpster, and he said,
Sick.
"What are you doing?" And he goes, "I'm threw myself away. I'm no damn good." And you know,
Brother,
you
you
can't
don't
believe
even
anything Billy
know.
Gibbons says, but that's a great story, you know.
Listen,
Uh,
I can believe everything Reverend Billy Gibbons says because Reverend Billy Gibbons is the fucking man. Okay.
he has given like 27 different reasons why they're called ZZ Top. I mean, you never get the real answer. I think the
No,
last show he
never will.
finally said, yeah.
I don't think you will because
You'll never
it's
know.
such a mystery. But
But take it to
Did
the
you ever see
grave.
did you ever see the
Tell-
documentary where he makes a guitar out of part of Muddy Waters' house?
God,
He
Oh
gets
no, that's
Muddy
awesome.
Waters' old
that's
house
a classic.
got wrecking balled, and he finds some wood and he makes one of the planks, makes it into a guitar. It's crazy.
That's sick.
It's sick, yeah. Well, you know what? The way I end every country music discussion is I just say, look, you know what we want? We want more fiddle and less faddle. And everybody goes, amen. And that's how you end it, you know.
Yeah. Because
You
you
gotta
had a
play in
fiddle.
Texas, you gotta have a fiddle
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
band.
yeah. You had a fiddle player and you kicked the
I need the
drummer
fiddle.
out. And you got some bluegrass, and now
And
we're talking
faddle is
real
so
music.
faddle is so vague, it could mean anything. So it's why that's how you get out of the conversation. Just pay your tab and leave, you know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I had
this
to go
was-
on my rant.
Is there no, I'm glad we touched
Well,
on it.
hopefully we'll get Child of Night and see you next Tuesday back in Baltimore.
Yep, we'll be there. Yep.
That'd
Oh
be
shit,
sweet.
that would be actually I would be down to do a tour of that because
Oh,
I
that would-
love
We'd have to
that.
play the song together.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do the
I'm just
I'm
that.
telling
We'll
you.
just go on tour together.
How great would
Great.
that
I was talking with Reckless Life the other day, and like it just randomly popped in my head. I was like, dude, what if we pulled off like a relapses fest or like a relapse fest or something, and like got all the bands? I mean, it would take a lot to get Frontier and John Connor over here,
Yeah.
but holy fuck, that would be sick. I mean, just look at the lineup on there. I mean, Frontier and us headlining a fest is sick enough.
I
And then
remember
like
there was a point in like 2007 or something where we like like I said, I was running a webzine and we were like, all the good bands were on Relapse. What the fuck?
oh my
Like all
God.
of them. Like all of
All
them.
of
How did
them.
they pull
Literally
that
all
off?
of them.
Crazy.
Oh,
It's because every band I've talked to that has been on Relapse, like we did a small run with Coalesce. I remember chit-chatting with them about it. And like they treat their artists really well.
That's what we heard. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like you hear these horror stories about like Victory Records and
Yeah.
some Sadie stuff that a few
Century
other
Media, we've heard horror stories.
yeah,
Oh, boy,
I've heard a
as well.
lot
Yeah.
from studios in Century Media.
Yeah.
Um
But you're right.
but
Relapse,
yeah,
you hear
like
nothing but good.
yeah, I've heard nothing but good. Them and Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
And Ferret, honestly, Ferret. I mean, that's why we stuck with Good Fight. I mean, Ferret was another one of those labels. Like Ferret is like that type of label. Like being part of the Carl family is like almost kind of mafia-esque. It's really awesome. Like when I talk to Carl on the phone, he's very much like a mob boss.
I like that. It's like the old Led Zeppelin. Yeah,
is.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I brought him the idea for Relapses, and within like a minute and a half, it was his idea, and he was pitching it back to me. And I'm like, all right, we're sold, I guess.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I saw an interview with one of the guys from Clutch years ago, and he said, "Can we dispel the whole sub pop mindset? Small labels are bigger crooks than big labels, you know? Forget this, they're young and they're small and they're boutique. They fucked us over 8 ways to Sunday, And I never thought of that. I was like, wow, he was like, when we were on Atlantic, we always got paid. We got paid on the same day of the week, every week. It was like a corporate thing, So just,
I mean,
interesting.
there's shitty people in every, you know what I
Right.
mean? There's big labels out there that are great, and there's big labels out there that are shitty.
Right.
Just the same with same small labels, like we've lucked out, we became part of the Ferret family. And what label were you guys on? Heartland.
Creep.
Creep.
Creep. What label are you guys on with Child of Night?
Child of Night we usually like license our records to labels, so we keep them and then have several people do pressings. But the LP was done by Play Alone Records, which are some friends of mine here in Pittsburgh.
Or
Awesome.
you could have small labels that are really good. Like we talked with Tank Crimes and he did everything, you
I've
know.
heard like good
Yeah.
things about Tank Crimes. Also, I have
Yeah.
nothing bad to say about Play Alone at all. They really treated us very well. Like,
Tell you
See,
what,
and
I worked.
that's awesome. Yeah.
I
There's
worked
good
really hard
labels
on
out there.
the blaspheming monikers for Tank Crimes. I worked really hard on it, and he knew right away which one was bullshit. Like 10
Immediately.
seconds. He was like, second one's fake. I was like, motherfucker.
That's
Spent half an
funny.
hour on this. Yeah.
We all
He's
got it
razor sharp,
wrong.
that guy.
Yeah, he basically to keep that label afloat, he was growing illegal pot at the time, which now they go
Oh,
legal.
God.
But that's
Yeah.
how he got that label
Yeah.
upright.
Yeah, you got to have a back. You got to have a revenue stream. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, this was great. Did we forget anything?
Yeah, thank you.
Got
think
everything.
I
well,
have everything.
hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
I
let
did.
us-
I noticed we
Yeah.
weren't on the latest tour, but maybe the next one.
Next one, yeah. If you're in Baltimore, we'll be there. Yep.
Yeah, well, our ability to tour is slightly hindered by our day jobs
Yeah.
and the fact that we play grindcore, and
Nice.
you can only make so much money doing that.
Yeah, cyber grind money's coming.
And you can
I'm
tell
telling you.
Fox
I
he just
hope
had to make a
so.
tattoo appointment with somebody else because he was unavailable.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I
You
imagine the
guys should
revenue
come out.
lost.
You
Yeah.
should definitely come out and get a tattoo by him. That'd
I
be
know.
cool.
I'm gonna get a
Michigan.
big Walking Dead thing here. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
we're excited.
Awesome.
So you guys were at the Metro Gallery show? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay? Sweet.
They were hanging out at
say-
our merch table for most of the night.
Yeah. Drew, say
Jimmy
hello to your
mostly
lovely
hangs
wife
out in
for
the
us.
back, and
Yeah.
Jimmy mostly hangs out in the back and warms up. They don't call him chef for nothing. You know what I mean? Man's got a prep.
Understood.
I think we hung out with Fox for the end of the night.
We did.
How we closed
I
it up.
remember that. Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
He was great. Oh my god, he's
And
so fun.
Curly brought me this giant Rice Krispie treat that was filled with weed. And
Oh,
I was
yeah.
eating that. I was eating that most of the night. I think I actually shared some with you, Mark, didn't I? Oh, sorry.
I
He-
may
he
not have
definitely
told
didn't.
anyone that.
This is the Snaggletooth Extreme Metal Podcast.